But when you do the butter, it does need a bit of salt in the butter. I am a salt fiend. Oh yeah. So good. You see my tonsils.
Following you straight in there.
Welcome back to Cooking Slow with Natalia. No, we're good. Today we are in for a bit of a treat. We're kind of using all of summer's seasonal delights, and I'm really excited about it. We are going to be making something that's kind of ideal for this time of year, where the seasons are like slightly changing. You still want those tastes of summer, but you also want something a little bit more comforting. And kind of going down kind of a Spanishy route today. We're going to be making a chorizo and chickpea stew type thing with a kind of salsa verde type thing, and obviously scooping it all up with bread. Did they not know we're filming? I'll run you through my ingredients for today. Fairly on the simple side, and I haven't got all of them out because it's an absolute scorcher and I didn't want anything to go funny. But we've got two varieties of pepper. This is just your normal pepper, or might have a name, I don't know it. Bell pepper. Oh yeah, of course. And then and then these are Romano peppers, which are really, really nice. And then a onion, some garlic, lemon, and then also some bay leaves. We're going to use a few of those, and we've got some lovely tomatoes, but we will also be picking some ripe ones from behind me. Going to use a little bit of cumin as well. And then obviously the star of the show, the thing that kind of carries this dish, is the chorizo, which is a Spanish sausage basically, and it's really heavily seasoned with paprika. Anyway, it's quite fatty, so it's really, really delicious. It gives a really like smoky umami flavor, and it lends itself really, really well to a stew. Works really well with chicken as well, but we are keeping it not plant-based because it's chorizo, but we're going to use chickpeas because you know me and I love my beans. And then on top, which kind of again is like using up all of the really lovely summer sort of ingredients, we are going to make a really nice salsa verde type thing, which is going to be capers, basil, chives, and parsley, loads of lemon juice, bit of garlic for a punch, and that's just going to be drizzled on top. But you'll see. So let's do it. So this is my tree. If you remember from the first video, I said I thought these were going to turn like a really dark purple. They did not. But this one looks really good, so we can pick that. And then also this one. Right, we're going to crack on, starting with the mise en place. I'm going to start with my onion, which I think probably only going to use a half today. Peel off that outer layer. Again, leaving the root on so that when we cut it, it all stays together. Low waste. Okay, now I'm doing Joss's method of cutting the peppers like this along the membrane. I want to have kind of like strips, so like this, so that it kind of melts into the sauce. But you could, if you wanted to dice, you could dice them. But yeah, I quite like it like this. I think it's going to be quite nice. And then when you scoop it with bread, you get these like little hangy bits. And just follow suit with the orange pepper. And then I think for the Romanos, I'm just going to, sorry, that was an intrusive thought.
I slice them down all the way down one side and you sort of open it out.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do, okay? Honestly, look at that. Gorgelina. Okay. All right.
L'Oreal moment.
You're worth it. Cut it in half. And then just do a bit of chopping, bit of slicing, dicing. Not dicing, just slicing. Okay. For this, I'm actually just going to do halves, and some of the tomatoes in an ideal world would hold their shape, but don't hold me to that. I'm going to grab another pot, and then I'm also going to grab the chorizo and a grater for the garlic. All right, let's get these in here. Good. So this is the again, intrusive thought, sorry. This is the chorizo that I've got. So I think like a chunky round like that, quite nice. You can see all the fat marbling. That's just going to add so much flavor. And actually, we need to taste it because you can get a lot of different types of chorizo or chorizo. Chorizo. Yeah, it's not spicy, but it's nice flavor.
Very nice.
Don't mind the sound of the table. Oh dear. Oscar wants in on the chorizo. Oscar, catch. Good boy. Right, 1 garlic, 2 garlic, 3 garlic, 4 garlic. We're going to the pub later, so I'll just do 4. All right, so you're not really going to need that much oil because there's a lot of fat coming from the chorizo, but I will just put a tiny bit because of how hot this gets. Oh. Okay, I'm just going to put these in and slowly let the fat cook out. And whilst that's happening, I'll just bash the garlic. So and have some chunky bits. Nice rough chop. So you can see immediately all of the oil and the fat releasing from the chorizo. Onions now. Bit of salt. And just get that moving. And I'm also going to have a couple of tomatoes and then save half to throw in later because I want some of them to really break down into the sauce and kind of add to the texture as well as the flavor. But then I'm going to add these ones in later so that they kind of retain their shape a little bit, so that every now and then when you take a bite you get like the burst of a semi-fresh tomato. Gonna go in with my garlic, and I'm actually going to put the peppers in at the same time. And again, pinch of salt. Oh, I forgot as well, I want to put in some of these. Oh God. About half a teaspoon. Okay, I'm just going to let that hang out for a minute and grab the wine. So you can see the tomatoes, like you can't really identify them anymore. They've completely broken down into the sauce, which is what I wanted. Anyway, going to go in with some wine. And that is just going to give a little bit of acidity. And then, so these are bold bean queen chickpeas, so they're slightly bigger than your average chickpea, but you can really use whatever you want. They just have a slightly more like plump texture. So gonna go in. And again, if you see skins that have just come off, just grab them because they're not the most pleasant thing to have in your mouth, but they're also not it's not the end of the world. And I do find with these queen chickpeas, it does happen a bit more often, but it's okay. We'll just do all of it. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of chicken stock. And then also add in those tomatoes. And a little bit of black pepper. And then also I'm gonna do a couple of bay leaves. They're dry, so I just like put them in the liquid so that they kind of rehydrate a little bit and don't break up. Okay, I'm gonna leave that to do its thing and just grab the herbs and stuff. Capers, chives, parsley. Sorry, I was gonna say basil and then but with a P, so it came out like that. Anyway, basil. That's what we're doing. Okay, first things first. I think I'm just gonna use this guy. Grab a garlic clove, and we're gonna start with that. Grate that directly into my pot here. It's gonna be super garlicky, be warned. And then using lemon, squeeze that over. And then a pinch of salt. Just mix that around so that the garlic is like fully submerged in the lemon juice. Start with cutting the whatever you want first. I'm gonna go with chives because they're my favorite. Okay, about that much. Goes in. Looks so nice. Okay, and then let's do that. Don't worry too much about the stalks, but any big ones just get rid of. And then we can just bunch all of that together. Don't be too precious about this. It's all gonna be submerged in oil, so don't worry too much, but it's just quite nice to get it fairly even. Okay, and then some basil. So I've just kind of like wrapped them all up on top of each other. You kind of like roll it into a cigar almost, and then it's just quite an easy way. You get these like thin ribbons, which I'm also gonna cut into goes in. And then I don't have a spoon, so I'm just gonna take them out like that. These are capers, salty little buggers, I love them. And again, just rough chopping them. Don't worry if some of that brine gets in the sauce because it's just gonna add to the flavor and the acidity. Put the capers in here. And then just top that up with some oil. Give it a mix. So let's do the little taste test. Tiny bit of salt. But that is really nice. Very garlicky, but delicious. I'm just gonna let that sit for a second because I don't want to burn my mouth. Actually, no, I'm not going to. The cumin comes through really nicely in that. But you can see this sauce is like really thickened up, but I do want it to be like slightly on the runnier side. So I'm gonna just add a little bit more chicken stock and let that cook. I can't taste this. That has had enough time now, so we'll take it off the heat. Gonna pop it onto here, and then we're gonna plate it up in here. Oh yeah. And then just kind of give it a bit of a shake. Move things around so that it gets like a nice even distribution of sauce. Can get this off. Just do a bit of a clean up so that she looks nice and pretty. So we're gonna go for the Herby dressing now. Gorgeous. This is just like a olive sourdough, which I'm actually just gonna tear like that, and then I would serve that literally on the side with some butter. Yep. Ta-da! Finish with a bit of oil and a little bit extra pepper. I did already put pepper in it, and then maybe just a tiny bit of salt for luck. And there you have it, a delicious chorizo kind of soupy stew, dunkable bean situation. So good with words. It looks so nice in the sun. Get a nice bit of butter. Oh no. And I'm just gonna use that to scoop in here. Get a bit of everything. Oh. Ready for my close-up. Oh, I kind of want a piece of chorizo on there. Okay. It's super hearty, but also like the salsa verde makes it really fresh. And that sauce, like liquid gold. Sweet, salty, tangy, smoky. Salt, fat, acid, heat.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it does look really nice, doesn't it? Really? Yeah, because it's quite like generalizing, isn't it? Yeah, true. And the herbs, like really just like.
Cheers. Thank you.
Veg, thank you.
I think this is one of my faves. This probably is my fave.